Welcome to the House Edge Sports Network, the pulse of youth sports.
What's up, everybody? Tyler McLaren from the HESN podcast, episode 4. This is our first basketball show that we're going to be doing, and we are really excited to be expanding this year. We are going to be including a lot of basketball action from around the city. We're really happy to introduce basketball to the HESN lineup. Obviously, over the last few years, we have done football and we've done hockey, but this year is the year that we are really going to dive right into basketball. Basketball being my second favorite sport growing up. I played throughout high school. One of the best teams in the history of Ottawa basketball, Hillcrest High School, graduating class of 2002. We went 56-6. I'm like Al Bundy, still holding on to that. But, you know, basketball is a great sport, and Ottawa is a hotbed for basketball. We have arguably the two best university teams consistently. Obviously, we have the best one. Carleton University is the best Canadian basketball program in the history of time and space. And Ottawa U, over the last 10 years, has become one of the best programs in the country. The thing about Ottawa basketball, though, is I just don't feel like we get the respect that we honestly deserve. Toronto is Toronto. They're a city of 5 million people, 3.5 million people in the GTA or whatever it is, but they should get the respect. They got NBA players, they got people going down south, they got amazing things happening in Toronto, and Toronto is one of the top cities in North America for basketball talent. If you really want to break it down, definitely in the top 15 or 20. But Ottawa has this really unique way of being good at things, but not getting the credit for things. Works in football, works in basketball. I don't know as much about minor hockey, how it works or not, but I still feel that at the end of the day, Ottawa sort of gets the short end of the stick when it comes to getting recognition for sports. But that's going to change, and that's going to change because we got people that are doing things to change it. On this episode of the HESN podcast, we are going to be talking to Tony House, who's definitely a good friend of mine, a good friend of ours at HESN. He's been a supporter of what we've been doing here since day one. Funny story, actually. 5 years ago or so, there was a tweet that I saw on my Twitter account, and it was Tony House looking for somebody to help with some video for the CCHL. And I reached out to Tony. I said, "Hi Tony, I'm Tyler McLaren. I used to go to your basketball camps. I'd love to meet you, talk to you." He's, "Oh yeah, I remember, no problem, you're Corey's brother," and all this stuff. And we got together, and he introduced us to Kevin Abrams, and we got working together for hockey. And I have always been thankful for Tony's support, and we're really excited to be working with him for his new endeavor called Canada Topflight Academy. Canada Topflight Academy is basically a prep school in Ottawa that's going to be operating out of Notre Dame, and it's going to be playing in a league, which Tony will be explaining in a few minutes, against some of the other best prep schools in Canada. This gives kids an opportunity to stay in Ottawa, gives them an opportunity to save money so they can stay here, live with their families, sleep in their own beds, make sure they have a great support system around them. They're going to be playing basketball 6 days a week. It's going to be an unbelievable experience for players who want to improve as athletes and improve as people. And that's all that we're really here to do at HESN. We're really looking to make sure that through sports, kids can become better people, better students, and of course, better athletes. So we're really excited to be working with CTA. They got a great coaching staff. They got a great support team. Tony will explain all that to you. So before we hear Tony, just want to let everybody know, don't forget to go to HESN YouTube channel. We got some great stuff on there. Obviously, right now the basketball season hasn't started, but we have got tons of great football action that has just started. So make sure you go to HESN YouTube channel, check it out, subscribe. You can go. There's the podcast is on there. It's quite an experience, I gotta say. We got some awesome people working behind the scenes on the graphics, and we got some great products coming out there this year, and we're really excited to be showing you guys all this stuff. Now, before I ramble on a little too more, we're going to get right to the interview with Tony House from Canada Topflight Academy. Here it is.
Welcome to the House Edge Sports Network, the pulse of youth sports.
Well, I'm really excited to sit down and talk with one of my favorite basketball guys in all of Canada. Really special guy for me. I went to his camp, 5 times as a kid. We've been working together for the last 5 years, I guess, working with HESN and HESN Media and what he's doing. I'm proud to be joined on the HESN podcast with Tony House. Tony, how you doing?
It's great. My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Tyler.
So the reason we brought you on today is because something really special is happening in Ottawa. We're obviously a great basketball city. We have 2 of the best university programs. Our high school players and our high school league is always very, very strong. But something brand new is coming to Ottawa, and I want you to tell everybody exactly what the name of the new prep school we have here and exactly what you're going to bring to the table.
Well, it's called the Canada Topflight Academy, and it's basically a labor of love, to be honest with you. It's one of these things that a couple of years ago we just noticed sort of, I guess, people that some of our top players from Ottawa were leaving to go to the United States and to Toronto, and we didn't have a local option for some of our, truly elite level players to go to. So we were losing the likes of Eddie Ekior and Muriel Shyok and Corey Johnson and Olivier Hanlon, just to name a few. And we were sort of as Ottawa guys, we were looking at trying to at least keep some of these local people here. So now comes the Canada Topflight Academy. So I was able to put together a partnership with the Catholic School Board, who were very forward thinking, cutting edge, and now we've got a place for some of the top players to call home and not have to leave. So some of these players can basically sleep in their own beds and have their own dinner at home, and I couldn't be any more pleased and proud to put something like this together. We're really excited.
Now, obviously, like you said, this is a labor of love. This is something that probably you've been thinking about for, I would say, definitely over 5 years at least in your mind, thinking about how this might work. Talk to us a little bit about the support that you've received from Notre Dame High School and sort of supporting you and your players and what they're going to do to really help this thing become an outstanding option for kids.
Yeah, well, this is for the community. Let's get one thing straight. I mean, you can't do it. It takes a village, and we've got the support of not only the Catholic School Board, but you mentioned these guys will be going to school at Notre Dame High School, which is a great it's going to be a great academic program for them. They're going to get access to some unbelievable teachers, guidance counselors. The principal, Mike Curry, is a former basketball guy, a guy that went to St. Pius, my old stomping ground. So he gets it, and you need that kind of support. So not only, again, from the Notre Dame community, but the whole basketball community as a whole in Ottawa. You mentioned that it really has become sort of a hotbed for basketball. Companies like yourself, HESN Media, who are going to promote and really market our program and our players. It takes so many people, and as I said, I'm confident that this is going to work just because of my network. But again, the basketball community, the sports community, and we, as I said, couldn't be more thrilled, and I love the fact that Notre Dame, they've been so supportive, and as I said, I can't wait to get going September 7th when school hits and our players hit the halls of Notre Dame.
Now, the biggest question that I always get from people when I tell them about, Ottawa's got this new prep school, it's going to be a great thing. They're going to try to keep and bring in the best players from in Canada, North America, even in some different parts of the world. But the biggest question I always get from everybody is, who the heck are these guys going to play? They can't just play other Ottawa teams. So why don't you explain to people a little bit about who the competition will be and what some of the unique features about playing for a prep school really bring to the table for people that want to take their basketball game to the next level and even maybe one day play in the NCAA or the NBA or professionally in Europe?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost for us, you always have to kind of answer the value proposition, which is why CTA or Canada Topflight Academy, and I'll kind of preface it by saying it's all about the people and relationships. So if you know who's involved, I mean, obviously myself, I've got some real good deep-ridden roots in Ottawa, having played and have coached for such a long time, and then you look at sort of my board when I first put this together, going to Leo Routens, who's one of my best friends. You mentioned going to my Relton South basketball camps, but Leo has a lot of deep-written roots to Ottawa because we've been in Ottawa for over 25 years, and so Leo has a real loyalty to Ottawa and is definitely going to do as much as he can to help promote the program. Dave Smart, who's going to be a little bit of a consultant, he obviously has a soft spot for Ottawa, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. And then Milt Palacio, who's a former NBA player. So I think we've got a really good pedigree. We bring a lot of credibility and relevance to basketball in this community, so we're excited on that front. I mean, if you look at the coaching staff of Aaron Blakely and Willie Manigat and Alain Cadieux, those guys are definitely genuinely and sincerely all about developing players. And our strength conditioning coach Andy Stewart, our performance coach John Haim, our nutritionist in Bruce Bonner, and the list goes on as far as Dr. Devin Cohan, who I just recently signed on as our team chiropractic, and we've got sports medicine people. So we're really treating this as a pro team, and really want to make sure that these kids are well taken care of. So, and then you add the relationships of some of our sponsors, especially House Edge Media. I think we're in a really good position. So, we're all about developing players both academically and athletically. And you mentioned that, all these kids that we're recruiting are going to have some unbelievable exposure. We're going to play in the National Prepatory Association, the new NPA league, which has 12 teams from across the country. We've got teams from BC, Saskatchewan, Quebec, New Brunswick, and then the lion's share is in Ontario. And then it's driven by North Pole Hoops, which is a major recruiting service in itself. So, if you look at, why should you come to Canada Top Flight? You're going to get the coaching, you're going to get the competition, the tough schedule, which we will have 16 league games within our own league, but also a couple of showcase events. And then we just signed a major deal with the Grind Session, which is the elite level, prep school circuit, where we're going to actually have, we're going to be able to host 2 events, one in the Sioux, one in Toronto, with all our 12 teams, including ourselves. Plus, it'll feature 12 to 15 top level prep schools from the States. So it really is all encompassing. And if a kid and a young man wants to get to that next level, whether it's CIS, Canadian College, JUCO, NCAA, and eventually the NBA, you can do it right here in Canada, and specifically right here in Ottawa.
See, to me, that's just such a wonderful thing, because I always feel that in Ottawa, not just in basketball, in football as well, and I maybe not in hockey as much, but I still feel there's a little bit of sort of misconception about Ottawa when it comes to sports. But when it really comes down to it, Ottawa is a really, really great sports town. And when you just look at the stats, especially with basketball, look what Carleton has done over the past 15 years. Look what Ottawa has done in the past 10 years. Look how good the Ottawa teams show themselves when they do go to OFSA, and the players who come out of Ottawa, look how well they do when they go internationally and when they go play pro, maybe in Europe right now. And what can this do for the grassroots level when people know that there's actually a path right here at home?
Yeah, well, no, and I think that's important, and it's kind of like the chicken egg. I mean, at the end of the day, there wasn't really much. I mean, we had to rely on really good high school programs, which there still will be. I just think we take it to that next level. People talk about the actual training. Well, our guys will be trained, basically 6 days a week, and it'll be, hardcore elite level training, elite level coaching with Coach Blakely and Coach Manigat. Then you foster that with the competition, not only that they're going to get, outside, but, in practices. Our practices, we're going to feature some of the best players just within our team. So every practice is going to be, the environment that you're going to, basically foster like you would in a top level prep school, or even a university or college level environment. So, that's going to be, basically a very important component to the development, because if you get that development every single day in practice, then you couple that with the schedule that we're going to play, that'll only lend itself to, I think, to success. And as I said, whether it's the top CIS level program or an NCAA Division I program, I think that's what we want to basically emulate. And I think that's what we're going to have in CTA.
If there is at this moment a kid who loves basketball, who has enough skill to play on this league, and has the passion and the desire to take his game to the next level, what are some of the things, where can he go to get more information, and what can he do to contact you and learn more about CTA?
Well, I'm pretty happy with kind of, again, the marketing that we're doing. I mean, it all starts with a really good website. So obviously www.canadatopflight.com. We pride ourselves in sharing information and being comprehensive. So a lot of the information you'll receive on our website. My email will be there as well, but it is thouse@canadatopflight.com. We're willing to share information. Right now, we may have one spot available, but we've been busy recruiting, and we're really happy with the roster that we've confirmed thus far. And right now, as I said, may have one spot, and but in the years to come, we really still want to have that true local feel. There'll always be Ottawa kids that will be involved in the program, but we're pretty happy, as you will see as we unravel the roster. We've got a national component. We just signed Aiden Burns from Quebec, Nigel Kuma-Minta from BC, and then we're going to be looking at an international feel in the next week or so with announcements of kids coming from all over the world. So we really want to get an international feel, and we have that. So it's exciting stuff.
Now, just one of the last questions I want to ask you is, when does your season start, and how long does the season last, like the games and all that, tournaments and all that stuff like that?
Well, season started right now. To be honest with you, all of our recruits have basically been contacted and given a personal training regime by Andy Stewart. So they're kind of in off-season mode because right now, as we know, it's a 12-month season, which kind of really sucks, to be honest with you. We need to get people, stronger, faster, quicker, and kids are playing too much. And so we've actually got them sort of an off-season regimen, and it will start September 6th when they come to us. We'll still, have some visits with Anthony Stewart at CrossFit 1855 and his facility and his programs. We'll get them in the gym, get ready to go. The season really doesn't start until we kick off with our own tournament, the Canada Topflight Academy Invitational, November 11th to 13th at Notre Dame. And our season will go probably until the end of March, where it will culminate in a March Madness style tournament where all 12 teams will assemble, most likely in Toronto, and it'll be a win and you're in kind of March Madness sudden death draw. And then the winner of that, if we're so fortunate to at least win or come in, definitely win it, we could be down in Phoenix, Arizona for the Grind Session Championship. So, and that would be early April. And then things would focus to club and AAU season in April up until June. So we will practice and we'll train with these young men from September to June, but really from April to June, it will be more of a 2 days, 3 days a week of training, and then they'll be more focused on their club season.
Well, honestly, this is just extremely exciting. I think that anybody that loves basketball, which is these days, I can really tell that the sport of basketball is just more popular with the average person, I think, than it's ever been. The care that people have for women's basketball, I know the Olympics helps, but with the international game, with the men's and the women's international teams, the following that the NBA had this year the stories were unbelievable. March Madness is always insane. But something like this that can really keep local talent here and really allow local people to support some of these great guys and see their journey from when they're potentially 15 years old all the way to when they're either finishing their university or their college or whatever it might be, I think is really beneficial, not just for the fans, but just for the city in general. I think it's going to bring a lot of positive, news and a lot of positive outcomes for the sporting world and for the city of Ottawa. And I really want to commend you for making it happen, because when we first started working together 5 years ago, this is something you had mentioned, like, oh, I've been thinking about it, I think it's great, but to actually see it come to fruition, it really is an amazing achievement. I want to congratulate you and your team on sort of realizing your dream. I think that sometimes we focus on the kids' dreams, but for you to really have that final piece in the Ottawa basketball puzzle, I think really is going to make a big difference for everyone in the city.
Well, no, Thanks, and we're obviously going to connect and engage with the community. Without their support, this isn't going to be successful. And of course, we really look forward to working and growing the HESN brand and the CTA brand together. So really appreciate that.
Well, Coach, we will let you go now, and we will have you back on here in a few weeks so you can get us up to date once you get your rosters finalized and maybe some international flavor on this team. I want to thank you for taking some time to come on the HESN podcast, episode 4, and we look forward to talking in the future.
Anytime. Appreciate it, Tyler.
All right, Tony. See you later. Thanks again to Tony House for coming on the HESN podcast, episode 4, our first ever basketball show. If that doesn't get you excited, then you don't love basketball. You don't love sports if that doesn't get you excited, what he was just talking about. We're talking about the best kids from North America and Canada getting together to play against each other to make sure that they got the best competition, to make sure that they can get the most recognition, to make sure that they can further their careers as far as they can go. This is the type of things that need to happen in football. We need people that are willing to take risks and willing to break the mold and the norm of what has been done and start doing what needs to be done. And I believe what Tony has done is create something that it was a need for the city of Ottawa and the sport of basketball. That's not to say that what exists needs to go away. High school basketball still has a vital role to play in this entire process because there's so many kids that won't have the resources available to play or the skill needed to play. But for the select few that can't get as much out of the basketball high school system, this is an opportunity to get better. And this is an opportunity to learn how to become not professional, but learn how to become a university athlete. You got to manage your school, you got to manage your sports, you got to watch what you eat, you got to make sure you stay out of trouble. This is the types of things that you're going to be facing for the rest of your life. And being able to start this at the age of 15, 16, this is a great, great thing for many, many kids. And I'm really excited to see what's gonna transpire throughout the CTA season. Make sure you guys stay tuned to HESN. Check out what we're going to be doing. We're going to be interviewing players and coaches. We're going to be making sure that you guys stay up to date with all things going on CTA and all things going on basketball. We're going to be talking not just CTA. We're going to be talking high school basketball. We're going to be talking club basketball. We're going to be talking a little bit of CIS basketball as well. We're going to make sure that people in Ottawa are going to get the recognition they finally deserve for the sport that I personally love. I love so much. And that's really it for this podcast. Really happy to talk to Tony. Really excited to be working with CTA. HESN is going to have a great relationship, and I hope them nothing but the best. I foresee nothing but positivity and greatness coming out of that organization over the next few years. I want to remind everybody to go to the HESN YouTube channel, subscribe, watch our videos, check us out on Facebook, check us out on Twitter. We got great stuff going on, not just for basketball, hockey, and football as well. Next episode, episode 5 of the HESN podcast, we're going to be talking with Martin Dagenet. He is the head coach, general manager, and owner of the Ottawa Junior Sens. He's going to let us know what they've been doing in the offseason, what to look forward to, and that is it for this episode of the HESN podcast, episode 4. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Don't forget, like I just said, go subscribe on our YouTube channel. We need more people subscribing every day, which we are getting. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.
Welcome to the House Edge Sports Network, the pulse of youth sports.